After high school, Prince spent a ton of time in and out of studios throughout Minneapolis, recording on his own as well with several other bands, when he ran into Chris Moon, the owner of Moon Sound Studios. Chris was very impressed with Prince as an artist and made a deal with him that he would go ahead and help him get a demo and get it to somebody that would get him a record deal in exchange if he would help him produce some of his own songs as well as record them. After they completed his demo, he turned it in to business manager Owen Husney, who at first wasn't really impressed with the demo. He kind of blew it off as he just thought it was a band made up of a couple different session players, which he felt was something he could never promote, until Chris broke the news to him that it was actually an 18-year-old kid from Minneapolis who was playing all the instruments himself and doing all the vocals himself. With this revelation, Owen went and signed on as Prince's manager. He hired producer David Z to re-record and engineer a new demo with Prince at Sound 80 Studios in Minneapolis. He took this demo and he shopped it around all the majors, but kept running into a wall, that being they would not let Prince produce his own album, which was a demand that Prince was not budging from. They finally worked out a deal with Warner Brothers, who would allow Prince to produce his own album, but they would keep all of his publishing, and they said he would have to have a veteran producer to supervise him. Of course, Owen pushed for David Z to be that supervising producer, but Warner Brothers decided on Tommy Vicarsi. Warner Brothers and Tommy Vicarsi selected a studio to record the album, and of course it wasn't in Minnesota. So Owen, Prince, and Owen's wife rented a place near the studio just down the street from it in Sausalito, California. It took Prince 3 months to record this project, essentially recording every single day. Throughout the process, he completely ignored Tommy Vicarsi as far as any input or guidance, making this project an exhausting endeavor for Prince, as it's very time-consuming, recording every single instrument yourself and laying down every vocal track yourself. This type of recording is also very costly in studio time, which is why of his $180,000 budget he was given for 3 albums, he spent $170,000 of it just on this album. Doing this left 7 songs that were written to not even be recorded, and 7 songs that were on his demos to not be re-recorded either. For You was released April 7th, 1978, peaking at 138 on Billboard's Top 200 and only selling slightly over 200,000 copies. There were 2 singles released to promote the project, Soft and Wet, which peaked at number 92 on Billboard's Top 100, and Just As Long As We're Together, which peaked at number 91 on the R&B charts. With the budget basically being non-existent at this point, there wasn't much else they did as far as promotion outside of some meet and greets at record stores and some traditional publication ads. Although Warner did do a last-ditch effort to try to get some more album sales by doing a tour, so what they did was they told Prince to go ahead and assemble a band, and they booked 2 shows at the Capri Theater. After the Warner executives saw the 2 shows, they came up with a decision that Prince was not ready to go on a tour, as he wasn't yet polished as a performer, so they went ahead and stopped all plans for a tour as they felt that they would not get their investment back. So let's go ahead and explore the songs on Prince's first album. For You works as an intro to the album and in many ways an intro to his entire career. What sounds like a giant choir is actually just Prince. He achieved this effect by recording his vocals 46 times. Prince would go on and sample this song himself on the song $1 Million Show from the album Hit and Run Phase 1. In Love, a song that kind of stays in that soul disco sound that was popular during the recording of this album, is the first song we get on here that was not from one of his first 2 demos. Soft and Wet to me is the first song on this album that actually sounds like a Prince song, especially with the rhythm section and with lyrics like This is one of the oldest tracks on this project, as it was recorded with him and Chris Moon prior to any of the demos, and Chris Moon is actually credited as co-writer on this song. MC Hammer would go and sample this song on his song She's Soft and Wet from his 1990 album Please Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em.
I like 'em soft and wet. Take it out.
Crazy You is one of the shorter songs on this project, and it's another song that was not from one of his first two demos. And me personally, I've always liked the little raindrop sound effect throughout the song. Just As Long As We're Together was originally just an instrumental that he had done in the Moon Sound recording sessions. This song is very significant as it's a song that he performed live in front of the Warner Brothers executives, showing them that he, one, could produce on his own, but also that he could go around and play all the instruments himself, creating the song all by himself. This also happens to be the first song on this album where we get to hear Prince sing an entire verse, not in his falsetto voice.
Should we go on living together?
Baby is a very quiet song dealing with the subject matter of an unplanned pregnancy. Strangely enough, Warner Brothers went out and hired a very large group of musicians to play the orchestra portions live. Prince didn't care for the organic sound of an actual orchestra and instead removed it, putting in his synthesized version of an orchestra back in the song. My Love Is Forever is actually one of Chris Moon's songs that Prince recorded prior to his demo. He got to keep this song on the album and not have to give Chris Moon credits by working out a little bit of a deal to him. So what he did was he gave Chris Moon his song, We'll Make It Through the Storm, giving him all the writing credit in exchange for this song. Chris Moon would go on to record the song that Prince gave him with Sue Ann Carwell in 1981. So Blue is a song beautifully sung by Prince, and it gives us our first acoustic vibe on this album. I'm Yours is the second song on this album that sounds like a Prince song, and it is one hell of a way to end this album. Where the majority of this album is a by-the-notes R&B album, this is a full-on rock-out song right here. And the best part of the song is where we get the dual solo between the guitar and the bass, which of course are both played by Prince. All in all, for this being his first album, it's not terrible. And as a matter of fact, it's one of those albums that every time I listen to it, there's something about it I enjoy even more. I actually covered this album in my Princeology series, which is what I started my channel off with, and I'll have a link for that in the description down below. But I'll have to warn you, it is my first video that I ever record on YouTube, so the production is kind of iffy at times, and for whatever reason, I look like super funny in the video. And I'm saying that knowing that I am an ugly man, and don't feel all sorry for me. I've been ugly my whole life and I have totally adjusted to it, which actually that's not 100% true. I haven't been ugly my whole life. I was actually a really cute kid, and then puberty kicked in and I don't know what happened after that. Thank you again for joining me on the channel. Please like and share this video as much as possible, and as always, please subscribe to the channel. I will see you on the next video where I go ahead and revisit the second album in Prince's 3-album deal with Warner Brothers that started off his career. And until the next episode, I wish you heaven.